You're listening to The Scrimmage with Daniel Hargrove and Justin Damasiewicz.
Now it's time for Justin's favorite part of the show. And gosh, talk about onside kick percentages. I think that's about my win rate when it comes to this.
Well, we're going to do Stump Daniel, brought to you by the law office of Jeffrey A. Damasiewicz. And it's been a really fun ride the last few weeks, being able to make Daniel look really dumb.
Yeah,
I thought
fun for who?
It's been
I've enjoyed it.
It's been such a difficult ride. Well, you had your triumphant moment several weeks ago when you got 9 out of 10 on what I think we found out is your new wheelhouse, Seattle Seahawks draft trivia.
That's true.
You nailed the crap out of Seattle Seahawks draft trivia.
That was awesome, and yet it
Yeah.
still felt like a failure, because if you said I got it perfect, then I would have won a prize.
That's
and
true.
So I didn't get it.
What I decided to do this week, since you've had such a rough go of things, is give you some multiple choice questions. Because what better way to solve issues with answering trivia than to give you multiple choice?
Is the answer always C?
No.
Dang.
Or yes.
No, Daniel, it zigzags back and forth.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so you can try to use a formula with A, B, C, and D to figure this out, or you can just try to figure out the actual answers to the questions.
Sadly, this isn't making me feel any more confident.
Well, we're going to play a little game called Whose Stats Are These? I'm going to give you some key stats from a player from the NFL, and then I'm going to give you 4 choices, and you have to try to match the player to the stats. This is the first of many editions of what I think is going to be one of my new favorite games called Whose Stats Are These? I'm going to do the whole segment in a game show voice.
Can we save that for imaging?
We could, but I'm not going to actually do the game show voice. It hurts my throat if I do it too long. Okay. Do you have a legal situation and need someone on your side? Let the law office of Jeffrey A. Damasiewicz be your advocate. If you've been the victim of medical malpractice, suffered a personal injury, or need representation with real estate law, small business law, or estate planning, let Jeff Damasiewicz put his 29 years of experience to work for you. Call Jeff Damasiewicz today at 360-612-3991 or visit damasiewiczlaw.com. That's DAMASIEWICZLAW.com. Your first one, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 7 of them.
So do I need 4 for a win or 5 for a win?
Andrew, what is, if you got 4, what percentage would that be? 56?
I'm not good at math, not on radio.
I think you need 5
Okay.
to not fail.
Okay.
But I'm also not good at math, especially on the spot. Okay, your first one. This is passing yardage. Passing stats. Okay. So 4,039 passing yards, 27 passing touchdowns, 7 interceptions, and a 63.9% completion percentage. That's a respectable quarterback season. Is it A, Jimmy Garoppolo, B, Russell Wilson, C, Carson Wentz, or D, Matt Ryan?
Can you give me the touchdowns to interceptions again?
I can. It was 27 passing touchdowns to 7 interceptions. And your choices were Garoppolo, Russell, Wentz, and Matt Ryan.
I feel like it's Russell.
This is a tough one because if you guess Russell and you're wrong, you're going to look dumb.
Yeah.
And if you don't guess Russell and then it is Russell, you're going to look extra dumb.
Yes. Everything kind of lines up because obviously I don't know his exact stats. Otherwise, this would be easy. I feel like that's next level fandom to just know his stats right off the top of your head, or maybe a memory of numbers, which I obviously don't have. 27-7 sounds pretty good. Over 4,000 sounds, just over 4,000 sounds about right. So I'm going to go with Russell Wilson.
How dare you?
Oh, no!
Russell was better in every category. He had 4,110 yards, 31 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, and a 66.1% completion percentage.
The completion percentage and the amount of interceptions were my biggest my biggest concern about that. I feel just terrible.
You are a bad
I'm
fan.
a horrible person.
The answer is actually Carson Wentz.
That was my second choice.
Yeah. Carson Wentz was...
I'm going to say that after the fact to make me sound better.
You can just say it every time because
Yeah.
you're going to get all 7 wrong.
Oh, no.
Jimmy Garoppolo, just so you know, was 39.78 on yards, 27 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, and 63.9% completions. Matt Ryan was 44.66 yards, 26 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, and 66.2 on completions.
I'm
Do
gonna
we
get
do we know how
roasted.
many Garoppolo interceptions were thrown with his eyes closed?
I have no idea. Is that a thing? Does he throw with his eyes closed?
Well, he definitely threw one.
That one picture that Andrew likes to send has him with his eyes closed. Oh.
Okay,
this is
question
gonna
number
be-
2.
Oh, no.
Whose stats are these? 298 carries, 1,494 rushing yards, and 8 rushing touchdowns. Is it A, Chris Carson, B, Nick Chubb, C, Dalvin Cook, or D, Aaron Jones?
Why do you keep putting Seahawks in here?
That is going to be a
it's-
theme throughout.
It's just going to make me look worse every time that I don't get it right.
Daniel, how many times do I have to say this segment is continuously designed to make you look dumb?
It's called Stump, Daniel.
Nick Chubb.
That's correct!
Yes!
From your Browns, Nick Chubb had 1,494 rushing yards and 8 rushing touchdowns. They're still your favorite team, aren't they?
No!
They were when Colt McCoy was the quarterback.
What?
And Peyton Hillis sat out with a sore throat.
It was Derek Anderson was the quarterback, and they weren't my favorite team.
He just drafted all of them.
I just got all of them on my fantasy
You
team.
got all of them on your last place fantasy team. Okay, so Chris
Because the
Carson.
year before, Peyton Hillis helped me out a ton.
Here's your next one.
Patton 500.
72 receptions for 1,202 yards and 9 receiving touchdowns. Is it A, Julio Jones, B, Tyler Lockett, C, Christian McCaffrey, or D, Devontae Parker?
Well, some real outliers there in the last two. A running back and a guy who I'm not sure who he is. Which
Devontae Parker was the number 1 receiver in Miami.
it's Miami.
Yeah. He had a pretty good year. I had him on my fantasy team.
I'm going to say Tyler Lockett.
How dare you?
Oh, no!
Actually, Lockett he had more receptions. He had 82, but he had less yards, 1,057, and less touchdowns, 8. The answer actually is Devontae Parker.
Oh, get out
the
of here,
Miami
Devontae.
Dolphins. This is the 4th one. Whose stats are these? 159 tackles, 1 interception, 1 forced fumble, 3 sacks. Is it A, Bobby Wagner, B, Buda Baker, C, Luke Kuechly, or D, Eric Reed?
Bobby Wagner.
That is correct. It is Bobby Wagner.
Yes!
Which I tried to trip you up with a Seahawk there. I thought maybe you'd think it was Luke Kuechly.
He was my only other option there, really.
You know, it's interesting because the next closest guy in tackles is actually Buda Baker.
Wow.
He had 147 tackles,
Wow.
but he had no interceptions as a safety. It's funny, no interceptions, but 1 forced fumble and a half a sack. All right, you're 2 for 4. Whose stats are these? 3,494 passing yards, 16 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, 59.5% completions. I skewed a little negative here. So I'm going to give you a list of guys who maybe didn't have super great seasons last year.
Yeah. Ugh.
Is it A, Josh Allen, B, Mitchell Trubisky, former and future All-Pro Mitchell Trubisky, C,
All pro or Pro Bowler?
oh, he was a Pro Bowler. He's soon to
Okay.
be an All-Pro.
Yeah, get out of here.
Tar Heels quarterbacks.
No.
C, Andy Dalton, or D, Ryan Fitzpatrick. And that was a 16 to 14 touchdown to interception ratio
Yeah.
and 59.5% completions. Under 60% is generally regarded in this day and age as pretty bad.
Josh Allen.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah.
It is not Josh Allen. It's actually your boy, the Red Rifle, Andy Dalton.
I figured, I was like, Justin's putting a negative question in here. It's gonna be
Andy
That's
Dalton
sad.
had a pathetic year last year in 13 games. So you are 2 for 5 right now. You got 2 more to go. You need to get both of them. Oh, no, you fail. You already fail. You had to get 5. Okay. This is multiple choice. If you get less than 50%, that's going to look pretty bad.
I'm not proud of myself.
Okay. Daniel, whose stats are these?
Yours.
245 carries for 789 rushing yards and 3 rushing touchdowns. Again, I skewed negative. That's a 3.2 yards per carry. Is it Sony Michel, Le'Veon Bell, Adrian Peterson, or Alvin Kamara?
What? How would I possibly know this?
Daniel, I'm giving you multiple choice, okay?
Sony Michel.
Oh, I'm sorry, that's not correct. It's actually Le'Veon Bell, the running back who held out from Pittsburgh for an entire year so he could go get a massive guaranteed deal with the Jets and then stink on a bad team. All right, Daniel. You've already failed massively because even if you get this one right, you still only get 3 out of 7.
I'm hiding behind my mic screen.
Yeah, that you probably should. Maybe we need a bigger mic screen so you can hide better.
Oh.
Okay. Daniel, last one. Whose stats are these?
Andrews.
43 receptions,
Okay.
490 receiving yards, and 4 receiving touchdowns. Is it...
Lots of 4s.
Yes, that was the theme of this one. 4s. Is it Odell Beckham Jr., Larry Fitzgerald, Nelson Aguilar, or Alshon Jeffrey?
Alshon Jeffrey.
That's correct.
Yes!
It is Alshon Jeffrey, but you still only got 3 out of 7, so you lose. So instead of winning the fabulous prize, you get thrown into a tank of sharks.
What? What was the prize? It's not important. You didn't win.
Bragging rights.
That's a terrible prize. That was Stump Daniel. Sadly, why do we do this every week?
Because it's fun.
You know, one of these days, I've got some questions lined up from you. One of these days, I'm gonna pepper you and get you back a little bit.
Okay.
But not today. That was brought to you by the law office of Jeffrey A. Damasiewicz.